to the corner, and there goes Colette crashing to the canvas.
Chinese establishment, a restaurant too, simply because we are black in Nigeria. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I mean, you come into somebody's country, you open a business, then all of a sudden you can only accept your nationals who come into the business and not locals. And yeah, that's what they say. Okay guys, some really good news from Nigeria. Nigeria never disappoints. So some dudes from Europe, from Great Britain, came to Nigeria a while back, opened a business in energy, worked and hired a lot of Nigerians, and sometime later began acting funny toward locals, Nigerians. He's been selecting in a very discriminative way and talking to Nigerians in a very disrespectful way. So his visa has been disapproved and revoked. Big up to Nigeria for that. So they say the Nigerian government has revoked the work permit visa and residence permits of a chief executive officer of Seplat Energy, Roger Brown, over allegations of racism. So this is a chief executive officer, CEO of a big company. The revocation was contained in a letter written to the board chairman of Seplat Energy by the Minister of Internal Affairs. Brown, according to the letter, was accused by his workers of favoring foreign workers and discriminating against Nigerian employees. He was also accused of being in a possession of combined expatriate residence permits and alien cards that are not based on expatriate quota. According to the report, Brown allegedly failed several times to honor invitation by the ministry's panel which investigated the matter. So number one, the guy comes to Nigeria and acts very funny in a very discriminative way, favoring foreign nationals in Nigeria while disfavoring Nigerian nationals and disregarding them and acting in a very racist way as per many people. So Mr. Brown, that is his name, he's a big CEO of a big company, and this Seplat company provides a lot of work for Nigerians, a lot of money to the government. What I find very interesting is the fact that they don't look at the fact that this company brings so much money to the country, okay? They favor honor, like honor and dignity on top of money and opportunity, which cannot be necessarily said over many other African countries. You know, in many other African countries, when a foreign national comes with money, the first thing he does, he get in touch with authority. Okay, so he makes friends with generals and, some politicians. In case he's in trouble, he just have to make a few phone calls and he's out of trouble. In this instance, you can see they have particularly made an effort to make him pay for his crime. So they've revoked his residency visa for being racist in Nigeria. Number two, he was called by the commission to discuss this matter and he refused to come. I mean, just imagine this guy. You come to a foreign country, you are accused of doing something and you are being called by the commission to discuss the thing that you have done that is illegal, and you refuse to go because you think you're European. I'm privileged. I'm European. I don't care. You can call as much as you like. There's nothing you can do to me. And they have revoked his visa. And I feel that that's great of Nigeria. And I appreciate that. You must remember, guys, Nigerians are very particular people. They do not accept disrespect. And that is something I really, really like about Nigerians. They will make sure you understand that. And I think that's something that a lot of Africans could copy. The fact is, Africans are very strong against other Africans. Very, very strong. We do not accept disrespect from other African friends, other African brothers, African nationals. We will make sure we make them pay, right? But as soon as it's somebody from somewhere else, whether it's Lebanese or Pakistani or Indian, we get scared, right? In many instances, many Nigerians are not like that. They will make sure the message comes across, okay? And I think that is the stance that many Africans need to adopt. And this is not the first time Nigeria does something very similar. I don't know if you remember, few years back, something happened with there was a Chinese restaurant that was only accepting Chinese people, Chinese nationals. A Chinese restaurant in Nigeria only accepting Chinese nationals to be seated and served food, while Nigerian could only come and take away food.
Chinese establishment, a restaurant too, simply because we are black in Nigeria. That's all I have to say.
Okay, you come into somebody's country, you open a business, then all of a sudden you can only accept your nationals who come into the business and not locals. And yeah, that's what they say. Chinese restaurant caught refusing service to local get shut down by Nigerian Commission of Consumer. A Chinese eatery accused of refusing service to Nigerian national is now officially shuttered thanks to the action of the country Federal Commission and Consumer Protection Commission. That is amazing. That's amazing to see. Make yourself respected. This is not the first time for Chinese. Chinese people do that a lot. They did that in Zambia as well. I remember there was a moment where there was a restaurant where there was a young African man with his Chinese wife. I think they met in China. They came to Zambia visiting the guy's family, and they went to a Chinese restaurant to eat. As soon as they arrived to the restaurant, the Chinese lady was allowed in and the guy was refused entry. And that's rose big uproar in Zambia.
These two other guys were in front of us. They went in, these Chinese nationals. They went in. So when my wife and I were going in, there was this lady behind the counter. She was shouting something. She was yelling something. So for me, I just looked at her, but then I couldn't understand. So I walked in again. Then she repeated the same phrase. So at this time, I looked at my wife because she was looking in my direction. So I looked at my wife. My wife had stopped moving. So I asked her, what is she saying? So the lady said, foreigners are not allowed in this shop.
Unfortunately, in Zambia, things are very different because Zambia is very much controlled by Chinese people. Yeah. They are given so much power. You can't do anything against them there. But in the contrary, in Nigeria, they shut down this company, shut down the restaurant for not respecting. And this is not only the time Nigerians have done this, okay? I don't know if you remember, there was a time during COVID where there was a ban against many African nationals. Many African countries were not allowed to go to many countries. I remember there was England, there was Argentina, there was Dubai, and many other countries. Nigeria was the only country in Africa that said, you know what? If you guys refuse us entry into your country, we are banning your flight to our country. Do you remember that? Nigerian plans reciprocity ban on flights from 4 countries over COVID-19 and Omicron variant. Nations expect to put Argentina, Britain, Canada, Saudi Arabia on a red list this week, says Aviation Minister Hadi Sikira. Just like they did to us, several countries have restricted movement of our people and African nationals. We are restricting them from our land. That is power, friends. I think power is not you being powerful against your brother or you showing them they don't belong to your land and chasing them away. I think power is more when you know how to protect your people and your rights and your dignity. Nothing more powerful than dignity and honor. You cannot accept just anything, anyhow, just because you're receiving money from those people. I don't care who's your boss. If your boss speaks to you inappropriately, you need to put him back in his space. You need to remind him that you're not a toy. That is very necessary. People can only treat you in the way that you carry yourself. If you carry yourself with pride and dignity, they're going to respect you. That's the way you see sometimes 2 people working the same work and one gets a higher salary, a higher upgrade than the other. Putting aside racial differences, you take 2 people from the same background getting different salary. Why? Because they can see you look different. One is very, he knows who he is. He shows it in the way he talks and walks. Doesn't come across begging for anything, asking for help and supply. The other one is just the opposite, just cries over you, always got issues. A lot of African national and friends and brothers here, they always have stories. Everybody has a side story to tell. My auntie has died, her child broke his leg, please help me, I need money. It's unbelievable, all these stories. We've heard it over and over and over. We hear the same stories over and over. It's like when you just stop, you just begin talking, we already know where you're going. You need money, you need help. We need to stop that. Stand our ground. Money should not buy honor. Never. I don't care how much money you bring into the country. If you do not respect the locals, you should be treated in a particular way. Props to Nigeria for doing that, for showing the way. And I think many African countries should copy that. They should learn to make themselves respected than their people. God bless.